Okay, so let's see here. It looks like we have a question. This is the only question we'll have here for this page, for this video. But it's fairly involved because we're being asked to determine a lot of things here. It says, using a perpetual system, what is the cost of goods sold for November if the company uses FIFO, and then what is it for LIFO, and then what is ending inventory under each method. Now you'll notice that the question does not ask for the weighted average cost of goods sold or ending inventory under the weighted average method, and that's because we're using a perpetual inventory system. I will tell you that you can absolutely use a perpetual inventory system and the weighted average method, and you'll come up with perfectly accurate results under that method. So since we're being asked to do a lot of stuff here, let's do this. Let's start off by making a column for FIFO and then another one for LIFO. And you know what, just for fun, let's do weighted average too. Just because your textbook says it, that you don't normally use a perpetual inventory system for weighted average. That's actually not really true. My store, I used weighted average. And I had a perpetual inventory system, so it can definitely be done. All right. So, let's see here. Under FIFO, start with FIFO. And we're going to determine cost of goods sold. So it says here that on November the 4th, we sold 10 units of inventory, okay? And those 10 units would have to have come from this inventory right here. So what we're going to do, I'm going to mark through this for now, and then I'm going to erase it. But we've sold 10 of those units. So under FIFO, we've sold 10 units at a cost of $19, and hopefully we can figure out that that's $190. Yes? Okay. Then we purchased, looks like 30 units here, and then we sold some more units here. So under FIFO, what we have to do is we have to cost out the oldest inventory first. So for this November, actually what I'm going to do, well, no, I don't have room to do that. So for this November the 17th purchase, what we need to recognize is that we're going to get rid of all 10 of those older purchases. So we basically have the same thing again. And then from this November the 10th transaction here, we're going to knock this down to 20. So we have 10. This sale was 10 units from this inventory, and then 10 units from this $20 inventory, and that's $200. Now, notice we have another purchase right here, but we don't have any more sales. So we have all the information that we need to determine cost of goods sold. So let's bring our calculator over here, and we're just going to take these three numbers and we're going to add them up. 190 plus 190 plus 200 equals a cost of goods sold $580. Okay, so that's the first out of 6 things that we're going to calculate. All right, now we also, the question says, what is ending inventory under each method? Okay, so we have to look at what we have left. And so sticking with FIFO, we still have 20 of these units here at $20 a piece. So our ending inventory is made up of those 20 units times the $20, and that's going to give us 400. And then we also have these 10 units here that we purchased that we haven't had any sales after that because it's at the end of the month. 10 times $21 equals $210. And if we add 400 and 210, hopefully we know that that's $610 ending inventory. Okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, see if I can get this paper straight. I have to reach a really long way to do all this. I'm going to erase this because I used all that stuff for FIFO. Now we're going to move over here to LIFO, which is what they asked us for in the question. Okay? So the first thing is to determine cost of goods sold. Well, we still have a sale on November the 4th, and so our first transaction is going to look exactly the same as it did under LIFO. Absolutely will. So we sold 10 units from the most recent purchase, which is our beginning inventory at $19 a piece. So that gives us 10 units left. Then we made a purchase here of 30 units, and then we sold 20 units. Okay? Now here's the catch. Because we're using LIFO now, these 20 units are going to come from this purchase here. So all 20 are going to be at a rate of $20 each, and 20 times $20 is 400. So we have cost of goods sold, 190 and 400 is $590. So here's our answer. So that's the third out of 6 things that we have to do. All right. Now, and let's see, I need to drop that down just a little bit. One thing I did not do was knock this down to, let's see here, not 20. Need to knock this down to 10. So for our ending inventory, okay, for ending inventory, we're going to say, okay, we still have 10 units at $19 under FIFO. And we have these 10 units at $20 under FIFO. And we have all 10 of these units under FIFO. And those are at $21. So that would be 210. So if we take, I know what the answer is, but 190 plus 200 plus 210 gives us an ending inventory of $600. Ending inventory, $600. Okay? Now, let's see here. How do we want to do this? All right. So, weighted average. We're going to determine cost of goods sold, but remember this is under a perpetual inventory system, so this can get a little bit messy. Now the first transaction is going to be easy because right now our average inventory is $19 a piece and we're going to sell 10 units. So we have the exact same thing as what we had before. Yes? Okay. And I'm going to do And let me move that 10. That's kind of halfway in between there. Okay, so 10 units left. All right. Now we have to do something a little bit extra here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this inventory and we're going to total it out. 10 remaining units at $19 is $190 value there. And then we have 30 units times $20, and that is going to be 600. 30 times 20 is 600. Okay? So we're going to add these two together here, the 190 and the 600. And that's going to give us 790. And we're going to divide by 10 plus 30, which is 40. So $790 divided by 40 equals $19.75. All right? So when we make this sale here on November the 17th of these 20 units, we have to understand that it is the weighted rolling average of 10 units at $19 and 30 units at $20, which gives us an average of $19.75. So we sold 20 units times $19.75. So I've already got my 1975 written here, or on the calculator rather, so I'm just going to multiply it by the 20 units that we sold, and that's going to give me $395. And from here, I could determine cost of goods sold. So I'm going to take this $395, which I already have on my calculator, and I'm going to add to that this $190. $585 is our answer. $585. Now notice, even though your textbook may tell you that that we don't really use weighted average for a perpetual inventory system, that's to save you, because if you had a really long list of transactions, weighted average and perpetual inventory system can get very, very complicated. Because especially if you're talking about selling one or two items at a time, it can get maddening. Okay, but notice I did it, and just like I told you before, my cost of goods sold is in between FIFO and LIFO. It's in the middle. In fact, it's exactly in the middle. Now that won't always happen, but cost of goods sold $585 is more than FIFO, less than LIFO. Okay, so the last thing that we have to do is we have to determine what the ending inventory is for the weighted average. And what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to do this a little bit differently because it's weighted average. So we're going to go through and we're going to come up with the total of what all of the inventory available for sale. So hopefully you can see that's the number 20 here. So I'm going to write down ending inventory. Okay. And then I'm going to say, okay, we had 20 units at $19. What I'm calculating right now essentially is cost of goods available for sale. And 20 times 19 is 380. I'm just going to have to take my word for it. Then we have 30 units purchased at $20. Well, we've already done the math on that. So 30 times 20 equals 600. And then we had another purchase here, 10 times 21. And hopefully you can do that in your head. That's 210. Okay, so, well, let's go ahead and put that. So, cost of goods available for sale, that's probably not a legitimate abbreviation, but our cost of goods available for sale would be 380 plus 600 plus 210. Okay, so that's $1,190. Then we're going to subtract out this $585 cost of goods sold. So minus 585. So our ending inventory under weighted average method is $605. And if you'll notice again, ending inventory under LIFO is 610. Ending inventory under, did I say, I hope I said FIFO is 610. LIFO is 600. And look at that, 605. Weighted average is again right in the middle of the two. So regardless of what your textbook says, you absolutely can use the perpetual inventory system with the weighted average method.